Leatherworking books. Do we still need them in a digital age? Let's have a look. So here I have a selection of leatherworking books and things for knotting, braiding, etc. So we'll have a look at some of these just as a bit of an overview, and then there'll be some other videos as a bit of a deep dive into a couple of my favourites. So let's put them to one side and address the elephant in the room. And I say the elephant in the room because it is a big old book. So this is a piece of work. So the Leather Secrets book. Just an amazing piece of literature, learning, full of fantastic hints, tips, tricks. So things like the best types of leathers, how to order leather, what's the best part, how to transfer designs from this book onto your leather, a selection of tools, how to use your tools, how to hold them. As you can see, it's a big old book. You can unscrew it and take the pages out. So lots of carving techniques, which I don't do a lot of. How to, that's a nice bit back here. So using your head knife. So we've got head knife skiving and cutting, French knife for skiving, straight knife for cutting. So just use this bookmark. You can see that, just as an example, completely by accident, I have a head knife and a straight knife and a French skiving knife. This old beast could come into the same category as that, I'd imagine. So great bits of information, why the blades are, a bit of history about the blades, how to use them, sort of things like on here where it says, so this one, but also a curved knife. Look at that one of my favourite knives. There's another video on this, which I'll link below. So here we start getting into the patterns part of this book. How to make a wallet, so tooling patterns that you can copy. Very Western. And we start getting into things like this. So this has a fold out section for lots of different designs. Gives you a list of tools to use for each design and your patterns that you can trace round and then transfer onto your leather. There are loads of these, lots of wallets, billfolds. Bits for straps. Have alphabets for if you're going to be tooling things, shows you about doing tooling, resist, staining, all the fun stuff. As mentioned, there's a lot of it which is very Western inspired. A lot of the floral patterns, Sheridan style carvings, the animals, bit of braiding around the outside of that. These are for book ends. I like to make leather book ends. So something like this, I don't know if I've got enough space to show this, but this folds out and just keeps on going. So these are spurs. And then holster on the other side for all the holster people. So lots of bits and pieces in this. Very nice book, looks great on the coffee table, great piece of conversation. great old book. So that's Leather Secrets. Big heavy old one as well. So one of the benefits of having a physical book is that you can trace patterns, tooling patterns, designs, wallet designs, bag designs, strap designs, etc. from the physical book. You'll struggle to do that off of an iPad or a tablet or off your phone screen. So these are actual size patterns that you'll see in here. Another favourite of mine is the Ashley Book of Knots. Not necessarily for leatherwork, but lots of knots and how to understand how rope works. So for this, it's lots of sailors' knots, etc. Most knots you've ever seen, be it decorative or functional, will be in this book somewhere, and we'll have an ABOK number, Ashley Book of Knots. And you'll see this referenced a lot if you're looking online for different things, and it'll say ABOK number 891, which is this one, and then it'll tell you how to do it on here. Not overly practical for leatherwork, but just understanding how materials work and a good reference book is fantastic. Why would I have it as a book and not a digital copy? Because it's so much easier to just thumb through this, find the bit that you want, and learn about it. So here we have the Encyclopedia of Rawhide and Leather Braiding by Bruce Grant. So there's a much more concise version of this. This is the full thing. And I will try and find some links to stick below for the smaller version of this, or even this version. Put some little post-its just to try and show you some bits that I like. So lots and lots of bits. Some photos in there. There's some really fancy stuff in this near the back. But what this will do is sort of talk you through the concepts of it, plaits and braids, sort of use cases, how to wrap things, how to end things, how to start things, how to cut things. So the Mystery Braid, you may have seen, so is a piece of leather with 2 slits, and it is twisted, plaited, braided in such a way that it looks flat. And you can't find the start or end to the braid. I think I might do a video for that. Shows you how to do it a little bit more complicated. So here we can see so they call it a slit braid, but a bleed knot, a blood knot often. Used in saddlery, can look quite decorative, but is quite functional as well. So it involves cutting a slit in the piece of leather, feeding the other side through, cutting a slit in the other side, and feeding it through, and it self-locks. But you can wrap it around things. This will give you a really good understanding of how these concepts actually work. Doing some round braids, and also not just doing the braid, but putting the knots, stopper knots on the ends, the terminal knots on the ends. Square braid, so crissy crossy, looks quite nice, great for lanyards, key lanyards. I use them for, tend to. And you look at doing edge lacing. So lacing around the edge of a finished project, or lacing instead of stitching. So a lot of the Western style leatherwork, a lot of the Western style bags will be carved, and because it's on really thick leather, they'll tend to braid or lace the outside. And it's a good way to put 2 bits together, and it looks very decorative. Braiding can take a long time. Lacing the edges of it can take a long time. And then the last bit I want to show you is just sort of some of the decorative work that's they're saying about, sort of doing corners and things in the back. Just some good examples of some crazy work. Some braiding examples there. And then the other books we're going to look at in their own videos. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more leatherworking tips, tricks and build-alongs, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to be notified when new videos go live.